Morning. 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 Morning.
What's happening with you, Eric?
Morning. Morning.
It's like you're not you anymore.
Hi, this is Eirini from the Fun Carpet. We are here at the London premiere of Swimming with Men. Tell us a little bit about the film, what it's about, and why did you decide to do it?
Well, it's about a bunch of male synchronised swimmers, though the themes are really about middle age. And really, I suppose the point is we have a character who is, if you like, disconnected from his life. He's reached a stage where there's no longer potential. He feels like he's going downhill. His work isn't enjoyable, his marriage is struggling, and he finds himself literally at the bottom of a pool, where he sees a bunch of other swimmers who are doing strange things, making patterns, and he gets involved in this team. And they all come together, they know nothing about each other. The point is they only focus on what they do. They meet once a week and make these patterns in a pool. And he gets caught up with this, and this gradually begins to reintegrate him. And so it's about male vulnerability, I suppose. It's about how you know, very often nowadays there's a sort of virtual life and you're disconnected from intimacy. And so men get to literally grab different parts of one another and work in quite a physical way. It's quite a lot of serious exercise. And it brings them out of themselves and connects them again.
So we're here with Rupert Graves. Hello, I'm Eirini from the Fun Carpet. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good, thank you. So you're playing Luke.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about Luke.
Luke is a kind of, it seems to be a very together, successful guy who, but like everybody else in the movie, has got, you know, something missing in his life, or he's lost a love, or his family life has broken up, or he's reevaluating what it means to be Luke. And for some reason, he's started a synchronized swimming team. Yeah, that's who he is.
My relationship to the film is I'm its brother. The film is directed by my brother, so I feel as though I have a filial relationship to it. It might be material, but anyway, yes, Ollie directs it.
You look alike now that you said it.
You see, yes. We look alike a little bit. I am 3 or 4 inches taller, and I have a lot more hair, and my waist is smaller, okay? But otherwise, yes, we look identical. And I'm younger. No, so that's why I did the movie. I've had a couple of questions along the line here. Did you do it because of this? No, I did it because of my brother. And I love working with him, yeah. Good fun.
Tell us about Billy.
Billy is Rob Brydon's son in the film, and he is your classic teenage boy, without any of the weird phases or anything. He's just a fun-written, trying to hold his family together in some respects, who really loves his dad but is worried about him, and really loves his mum but is worried about her too, and just wants to keep everything together. So
we are here with Daniel Mays. You're playing Colin. I'm a cheat sheet.
Oh, Cole.
So, what is Colin like?
He was once a promising footballer when he was young, and he was going to get signed by all these top clubs, but on the day of the FA Cup Youth final, he lost his bottle and got the fear, and he never played football again. Let his old man down, and it sort of destroyed him. He's now, when you come to him in the film, he's a foreman of a building site. He's taken over, or he's taken Thomas Turgoos's character as under his wing, and he finds solace, like all the other men in the film, in this group of synchronised swimmers.
And initially the idea
As you do.
My name's Dylan Williams, and I'm the original synchronised swimmer upon which this film is sort of been based later on.
So, are you still swimming?
Yes. I started synchronised swimming 15 years ago, and then I made a documentary about it, about my life, and then it's been made, but I'm still very much a swimmer.
What was the hardest scene for you to direct in the film?
In this film? Well, it's very difficult to know because, you know, I had a wonderful ensemble, and there were definitely some days where we had to shoot it very fast, and I thought, how on earth are we going to do some of these routines? Because the routines themselves are very difficult. It's all very well as a writer to say at which point they do a fantastic aquatic manoeuvre, we've got to pull it off, you know. So we trained them very hard, but there'll be days, how can we pull all this together, you know, in such a short time? And those guys are amazing. I mean, literally, we gave them a serious boot camp in training. So 2 weeks in the Olympic pool, and they were really got to it. I remember turning up a few days before shooting thinking, thank God, we've got a film, because without it, you're bluffing, you know. So there were days where it's like, can they bring that together? And they really did. When you see the film, I think you'll be really surprised at what these characters, who are not perhaps the most elite athletes, you know, in UK, do by simply working well together, collaboration and synchronization. And so it's sort of, it has its own charm for that reason.
It was probably the scene, it's towards the end, I confront my dad about something in the film, and it was such a weird scene I mean, it's a great scene, but I just had to get it right in my head before. It was difficult learning it, I don't know why, but once I got it sorted, it was really great to film. So.
What was the hard bit? To learn the lines or to see how you can do it in your own way?
Learning the lines was easy. It was more just seeing how to do it. It was my second day filming, and it was quite a long day. No problem with me. But it was just, I can't quite put my finger on what made it difficult, and it wasn't that hard, to be honest. It was just getting it right. It was just walking up there and hugging Rob Brydon and then doing the rest of the scene without any, because there was so much going on. There's a huge crowd behind us as well. So it was just, you know, a little bit of stage fright.
Did you have to do retakes for that?
Probably a couple. I mean, no more than the usual. I think they got it in 3 or 4, I think. So, you know, nailed it.
Oh, the last scene. I was there, that was my first day of filming, and I was a little bit uneasy about what I was doing anyway. I literally flew in that morning after the awful strikes, the British Airways strikes, and I didn't think I was going to get there in time. And it was, anyway, I nearly hired a car from Prague and drove. But I didn't. I got in time, and when we got there, it was the joy of everybody going around. I won't give it away, but the last bit, there's
Is that the hugging scene that he was talking about?
Yes, probably, yeah. Probably.
And what was the best scene for you to do?
Oh man, this is a really tricky question. There is a scene in the back of a car. It's very short, but it's a little comedy scene, which I think really made us all crack up. It's either that, or it was my first scene I did with. It was the first scene I did in the whole film with Rob, and it was a scene on this little hill where we're just confronting each other about everything that's going on. Like why is this family falling apart? And yeah, we got it, and it was just a really fun scene to film. Nice to get to know Rob that day. It was great. It was great.
The worst scene was the one that was cut, which was really disappointing because I loved that scene. I thought it was a really good scene. But I trust my brother in the editing room to make me look better, and that means if I wasn't very good, cut it. No, it was. I think that was frustrating to do that. The worst scene. There wasn't a worst scene. There never is a worst scene. No. I mean, the character's a slimy character to play. He's not a very. His intentions aren't as good as they look, I think, with Jane Horrocks. But hey, I got to work with Jane Horrocks and Rob Brydon, so it was lovely.
Can you tell me a line from the film?
Oh God, what is it? What? Oh, he hasn't driven off on a Harley Davidson, has he? Just one of the lines. You asked me for one of the lines. What can I do?
It was good. No, I saw a different you.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Great.
How did you cast your film?
Nearly all meeting people. Some I knew. Rob Brydon was already there with me from the beginning. Danny Mays I'd worked with on my last film, Dad's Army, and I knew he'd be perfect for this. He's a wonderful ensemble actor and works very well in an environment where we're kind of building scenes together. And you know, the nice thing about the casting on this is you want real variety. So you attract one more, like Jim Carter. I always thought he would be a fabulous kind of addition to this, and unexpected. You know, he's just about 70 now, and yet keeps pretty fit, and he's got lovely personality, and really represents an aspect of masculinity. Slightly an older part of the team, but also brings real gravitas as an actor. So you're kind of putting together different pieces of a puzzle, and but it's always about, for me, it's always about meeting them. You know, I very rarely actually make a proper bit of casting for any role of any size without meeting. I've got to meet them because you want to know whether you can work together, and and this was the lovely thing about an ensemble is you get to a moment where they're all really rooting for each other, and by the end they were, the speed at which they moved and they could play with, actually the training period I talk about, that was a great moment for them actually to start rehearsing early. And I'd come in and oh God, they're forming these little bonds between them, and they're already practicing things without doing it overtly. So it was a really nice process, yeah.
Why did you actually want to do this film?
Well, first of all, I thought it was an intriguing mix of a very kind of slight, funny, kind of spoofy film about a group of lads who are doing, the obvious thing of doing synchronized swimming. But I think it also touched on something which I think is in the zeitgeist now of the importance of men's mental health, which is a real issue with it. And I think I think it proves that if you're part of a group and you come, I think that one of the problems with society is that people get isolated in social media or when families dissolve or when people and then they can sink in depression and things. The biggest killer of men in under 50 is suicide in England. It's so and doing something like this, whether it's this or being in a band or a Harley Davidson appreciation group or whatever, if kind of guys get together and bond and are humane and with each other, you can actually alleviate a lot of the anxiety, I think, and panic of being a human on the 21st century.
How did your life and your documentary picked up? How did it get picked up in the end?
Well, the documentary was made together with the same production company that made this fiction film, so they said to me straight away, we want to make a fiction out of this.
And what was your involvement in the film? Did you have a big saying in what you want to do or what you want to put inside?
Well, I'm the executive producer, so I've been involved in overseeing some parts of it, but the script, that's something that I take my hands off. I've made the documentary, that's what I'm proud of, but I think they've made a really great film. It's something that I feel has the same spirit of community and fun that I have in my team of synchronized swimming in Sweden.
And who was the person that looked after you the most on set?
Well, it was everyone from the runners to the ADs to Oliver himself and Nathaniel, and it was a lot of people. Rob, because pretty much every scene I was in, I was either with Rob or Jane, and they were both great. So it was sort of being parented by everyone. It was one of the first times again that I've worked with big celebrities as well. So I was quite nervous when filming it, but they were very helpful in getting over that fear. So now I'm completely cool with it. So everyone was great. Everyone was really great.
Which is amazing. I can see as soon as he came.
Nathaniel Parker was in my favourite childhood movie. So when I saw him on the read table, he sat down next to me, and I looked over at the end of the script having a laugh and was like, oh my god. It was like a little moment of panic. But throughout the shoot I got to know him, and he's super lovely. And it was really exciting to get to know everyone. But so I can't say though who was the most protective of me on the set. I don't know. I was quite young, so it was everyone. Yeah, it was everyone. It was like looking after me, knowing that I was going to go and do something stupid.
What are the themes that you think the film is trying to bring out?
I think you could say it's a lot to do with the dangers of middle age for a man, where suddenly you're no longer the powerful figure you might have been, and so it's sort of dwindling powers and how you find your identity, because they're less good perhaps at intimacy. They're less good, particularly English men. They kind of tend to withdraw, and so it's looking at those themes and how you re-engage and how you live right in the moment. Because the point about synchronized swimming, actually nearly all sports, is unless you're there to catch that arm, it doesn't work. So it brings you a kind of focus to your life as it does a focus to the routine. So that it's a very sweet metaphor which has a lot of charm. What I also liked about that you asked me earlier, what I liked about the project was there was a quite rich theme but taken in a very light-hearted way. And there's something inescapably silly about the notion of these men doing these funny little patterns, but actually at the same time it's quite endearing, and so they feel like there's interesting conflicts within the initial idea which are good fun to explore. It's enormous fun. We opened in Edinburgh last Sunday, this Sunday just gone.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh, fantastic. The warmth in the audience. So I feel, hopefully, it is touching things that people want to see and are interested in.
How do you prepare for the part?
I joined the team.
We had 2 weeks intensive swim school.
Yeah, I heard that in the Olympic Stadium, right?
The Olympic Stadium. And yeah, they literally threw us in a deep end. We all jumped into a communal changing room. We all started taking our clothes off in front of each other. We got our nose clips on and our goggles, trunks, swimming caps, and we jumped in. But we had a great company called Aquabatics that taught us all the routines, and Katie and Adele, our trainers, really whipped us up into shape.
How easy or how hard was it to do that?
Do you know what? Some of the moves were easier than others. You know, I mean, when you're in a group of, 8 swimmers or whatever it is, say for instance if you're doing the wilting flower, like say it's shot from above, essentially all you've got to do is swim on your back, put your head in the middle, hold on to Rupert Graves' ankle and a Dill Actor's forearm, and after 3, sink at the same time. So that's all about timing. But then other moves was really tough. Moves where you've got to hold your breath under the water and go all the way down. That was really, it was quite frightening actually, because you're being dragged by your neck and you're running out of breath. But we would be taught techniques of how to cope with it.
That's brilliant. I would need that.
You have to let the air out of your lungs
while you're under.
Yeah, and then you're able to get round quicker, or you're able to hold your breath for longer.
How do you do that?
You just let a little
kind of learn it.
Yeah. And say, for instance, if you want to sink to the bottom of the pool, you let all the air out of your lungs, and then you sink all the way to the bottom. You knew that, though, right?
Yeah.
You did know that.
I'm awful.
How are you?
Yeah, I go in holding my nose. I'm that bad.
Okay. Well, if you purchase yourself one of the nose clips, you won't have to hold your nose.
Well, I can hold my nose. Well, I can hold my breath for like 3 seconds.
All right.
I'm really bad.
But if you train more, you'd get your breath capacity would increase.
And what's next for you?
Well, tonight I've got to go. I'm on stage tonight, so I brought my bicycle with me to the carpet, and I'm going to jump on it in a minute with my fluorescent jacket and cycle out of here.
I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm auditioning about, seeing what I can find, and hopefully something good. I like doing horror and sci-fi movies quite a lot. They're great fun, especially when you've got a really spooky set. You go around the set scaring yourself because you think, okay, this place is haunted or something. There's an alien. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know. So we'll find out.
And how close is the documentary to the film? Would you say like 100% close or like 80?
No, I would say Rob's character is very different to me as a person. I mean, he's this kind of accountant character. I'm a documentary filmmaker, a little bit more of an arty type of guy. But I was at the same point in life as he was then. I would say that it's about 50% the real.
Very excited to be here.
You're very energetic and I love that.
I'm like, this is my first red carpet and it's a blue carpet and it's just like things are firing off in my brain, so I'm so happy right now.
I've seen green carpets in the past as well, so it's like...
It took me a minute, but I realised it's blue because water, so then it all made sense. Yeah, so it was actually clever, it's clever.
And if you look, because of the poster is blue, that's why I think they've done it that way.
Yeah, so yeah, I was looking around, I was like, blue carpet? That's not normal, that's weird. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. So yeah, that was really fun to see.
Thank you for watching The Fun Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, where we are going to have a lot more things for you.
Say hello to something new. 'Cause every day is
You want it, just got to reach out and take it.
And if it's not perfect, at least we were here together.
a beautiful day. Oh, yes it is right now.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.